What's up, champ? In this video, we are going to be breaking down that something that even the biggest fighters in the world, or the fighters that are considered world class, they suffer from this issue, right? And it's the issue of having bad habits that you don't immediately break when you realize it's a bad habit. So what inspired this video was the fact that I was watching Floyd Mayweather versus Ortiz for to do a breakdown on this stuff. And then what I realized in that fight was Ortiz was getting into repetitive actions, right? That was leading to Mayweather just being gifted counterpunching opportunities. And it's funny because Ortiz could be considered a world class fighter because of course he's fighting for world title honors, he's been world champion and all of that stuff. But he's still almost fighting what I would consider to be in an amateur manner. Like, to be repetitive and to gift opportunities to a great fighter that you're fighting is just an amateur move to me. So we can't allow that to happen for us. So what I would say is this. For example, right, let's say you're in the ring and you throw a particular punch and it gets countered every single time. Now, you've had enough evidence in your mind to say, that doesn't work, change it. But what happens is there's a couple reasons why people can't change it. One is because we get into a mode of being repetitive and robotic and automatic, where we're not actually even in control of ourselves. We're almost on autopilot. So we do the same thing over and over again. You need to shock yourself out of that habit. You need to shake yourself out and actually have focus on what it is that you're doing and what the result is from what you are doing. So if you realize that you're throwing the right hand over and over and your opponent is good at perhaps throwing a counter left hook and is countering the right hand every time, there is something you need to change. Now, what I would say is this. 3 times, you give it 3 times before you say this needs to be changed. No more than that. If you get hit with the same punch because of or countered with the same action more than 3 times, it is a fault of you. Before that, you could actually say, well, you're still not sure. You're still downloading data from the fight and all of that stuff. But if it gets to the point where you've done the same thing 3 times and the opponent makes you pay for it, you need to change it right there. Don't let it go over 3 times. The second thing I'll say is we do this a lot just as humans because sometimes we don't have another game plan, right? So sometimes it's hard for a fighter to adapt because he doesn't have anything else he can do, anything else he can replace it with. So he still sticks to having hope in that action. But there is no such thing really as just hoping. That really, like the idea of hope, right, in that sort of context is just a last measure because you really don't have anything in your toolbox. But you have to expand your range of movements, actions, counterpunches, punches, right? You have to expand the whole toolbox so that you're not relying on one thing and then you basically have nothing else to do. But I would say even then, try something new in the ring and try to literally grow in the ring. As you kind of would in sparring, right? Try to literally grow in the fight because it doesn't really matter what you say. If you do the same thing and you've already been shown that it's not going to lead to a good result, you need to change it. There's actually nothing else you can do. Right? And the idea of just doing it again and hoping is like the chances of that working is so low that you might as well just try something new, even if you're not confident in that new thing, right? So this could also be applied to outside of the ring too, in just your daily living and your lifestyle and your approach to boxing. For example, if you realize that something you're eating, right, something about your diet is not leading you to perform at your highest potential or like manage your weight properly or any of those things, you need to change it immediately. You cannot wait. You cannot just do the same thing. And we can stick to the same rule of saying 3 times. If I notice 3 times I feel bad, or I notice 3 times this isn't going well, change it right after that, or at least make some sort of small adjustment. It could also be applied to who's in your life and who's in your team and who's helping you to do certain things. Right, if you get, like, let's say you give someone that's in your team, right, you give them a certain job to do, a certain role. If they are not doing it up to the standard that you need after 3 times, then you need to give them something else to do. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just not going to work. The same thing, and you may even need to drop that threshold of 3 if the circumstances require. For example, let's say you're with a trainer, right? But things, you can't just wait for you to like basically lose 3 times or something. But then even in that instance, you could follow the same pattern if you then look at how it's going in training camp, right? So just be more like fine tune your approach to everything so that you don't gift opportunities where it doesn't need to be given away, right? And as soon as you notice something is going bad and something is not going right, you need to be a leader, you need to be a boss, you need to be a champion, you need to be in control of yourself, right? And you need to make a change, because the losers or the average fighters are going to be the ones that just, oh yeah, just give away a few points here and there. But you can't do that. It has to be like, it has to make you feel uncomfortable for you to give away those few points or give away those few opportunities to your opponent. Anyway, that's all I'm going to talk about today. We're getting it. We're getting this greatness, this history, this legacy, and I'm here with you on these videos. So I'll make sure to see you on the next one. Peace.